In a sunlit courtyard outside a grand church, laughter cut through the warm air. The bride's friends stood on the stone steps, their designer dresses shimmering as they mocked a young woman arranging flowers nearby. Maya, dressed simply in a black dress and plain shoes, kept her eyes on the white roses she was carefully placing, though her hands trembled from their cruel remarks. They sneered about her past jobs and called her a charity case, as if her presence tarnished the expensive wedding they were preparing for. Maya tried to stay calm. She had learned to let insults slide, but today their words felt heavy, like stones thrown at her dignity. Inside, the church was buzzing with wealthy guests and elegant decor. But Maya's world was shrinking to the flowers she arranged and the whispers swirling around her. The bride, Victoria, stepped out in a lavish white gown, glancing briefly at Maya before barking instructions. The groom, Richard, offered polite smiles, but treated Maya as invisible. Around them, rich families chatted about money and holidays, while Maya focused on perfecting every bouquet, determined that no cruelty would spoil her work. As the ceremony approached, tension thickened. A photographer complimented Maya's arrangements, giving her a brief smile of validation, but Victoria's frown quickly reminded her of her place. Just as music began to play and the bride prepared to walk down the aisle, the church doors banged open. A tall man in a crisp military uniform strode inside, medals gleaming on his chest. Silence swept through the crowd. He introduced himself as Colonel James Harrison, apologizing for interrupting, but insisting he had something urgent to say. He looked directly at Maya, inviting her forward. The room watched as she hesitated, heart pounding, then stepped into the aisle. With quiet authority, the colonel revealed Maya's story. She was a Georgetown graduate fluent in several languages, a woman who had volunteered in disaster zones and cared for her sick grandmother and little brother. The gasps grew louder when he declared, "She is my daughter!" Shock rippled through the guests. Victoria's bouquet slipped from her hands. The colonel's voice carried through the church, explaining that Maya had chosen to work under her mother's last name, to build her own path. But after hearing how she'd been mistreated, he could not stay silent. He condemned the arrogance that had dismissed his daughter's worth, praising her character, intelligence, and grace. One by one, shame softened the faces of those who had mocked her. The old woman who had earlier mistaken Maya for staff apologized. Even Victoria's wealthy father expressed regret for the way she had been treated. The bridesmaids, their earlier bravado gone, tearfully asked for forgiveness. Victoria herself stepped forward, contrite, acknowledging how blind her privilege had made her. Maya, though emotional, stood tall and accepted their apologies with quiet strength, reminding them that mistakes matter less than what we learn from them. The photographer spoke again, admiring not only her talent, but also her composure under pressure. Applause rose, filling the sacred space with a sense of healing. The wedding planner suggested pausing the ceremony so everyone could reflect, and Victoria agreed, realizing that respect and kindness were more important than rushing ahead with vows. Outside, conversations turned to gratitude and admiration for Maya. Offers of support poured in, a scholarship from a prominent philanthropist, business opportunities from guests inspired by her artistry. As the church emptied, Maya and her father lingered among the flowers she had arranged with such care. Sunlight through stained glass painted them in soft colors as they shared a heartfelt embrace.